small village surrounded by thick green forest and red soil, there lived a girl named Achalugo. Her name meant the one who brings joy, and people said she was as beautiful as a full moon on a clear night. Her skin was the colour of warm earth after rain. Her eyes shone like dark river stones, and her hair was thick and black, always braided with bright beads. When she walked through the market, every head turned. Women would whisper, "Look at Achalugo." Even the wind slows down to admire her. Men would murmur, "If beauty were a crown, she would be queen of the whole world." Children followed behind her, copying her walk, giggling, and pointing at the beads in her hair. At first, Achalugo's heart was soft and humble. As a child, she would help old women carry firewood and share her roasted yam with hungry children. But as she grew older, the praise grew louder. Compliments followed her like a shadow. "Your face will bring great fortune. No man will ever dare to leave you. With that beauty, you never need to struggle." Slowly, quietly, something dark began to grow in her heart. One evening, Achalugo walked to the river with her clay pot. The sunset painted the sky orange and pink. She bent down to fill her pot and saw her reflection in the water. The river was calm, like a giant mirror. She smiled at herself. "Who is more beautiful than me?" she whispered. The river did not answer, but her reflection did. It looked back at her proudly, as if agreeing. From that day, Achalugo began to change. At the market, when a poor girl greeted her, saying, "Good morning, Achalugo," she just nodded slightly, as if the girl were invisible. When her neighbour, Mama Ifeoma, came to ask for help carrying a basket of cassava, Achalugo said, "I can't. I must keep my skin smooth and my hands soft. Heavy work is not for someone like me." She started choosing her friends not by their hearts, but by their looks. "The girls I walk with must be pretty," she told herself, "so that everyone will see we are like flowers in a line." One day, an old woman with wrinkled skin and tired eyes came to the market. Her clothes were patched, and she leaned heavily on a walking stick. She went from stall to stall, asking softly, "Please, may I sit in the shade a moment? My legs are weak." Some people ignored her. Some chased her away. The old woman came near Achalugo's stall, where Achalugo was buying new beads. "Child," the woman said gently, "may I rest on that bench beside you?" Achalugo looked at her. From her grey hair to her dusty feet, the old woman's skin was rough, her face lined like a dry riverbed. "If you sit near me," Achalugo thought, "people will see you and think we are the same. I don't want anyone ugly beside me." Out loud, she said coldly, "The bench is for customers, not for beggars. Go and sit somewhere else." The old woman's eyes clouded with sadness. "Beauty is a gift," she whispered, "but it can become a curse when the heart is ugly." Achalugo rolled her eyes. What does she know? She thought. As the old woman walked away slowly, the wind blew dust around Achalugo's feet. A chicken nearby flapped its wings and squawked, as if it had seen something human eyes could not. That night, as Achalugo combed her hair and admired herself again in the small piece of mirror hanging on her wall, she did not know that her life was about to change. Her flaw, her pride, had already called something powerful into motion. The next morning, the village woke to the sound of drums. The chief had announced a grand New Yam festival. There would be dancing, feasting, and a special event, a beauty and virtue ceremony to honour the woman who best represented the heart of the village. "Of course I will win," Achalugo told herself, smiling as she oiled her skin. Who else could they choose? Her mother, Mama Nkem, watched her quietly. "My daughter," she said softly, "beauty is not only in the face. It is in how you treat others." "Mama," Achalugo replied, laughing, "you worry too much. Do you not see how people talk about me? Everyone knows I am the village beauty." Mama Nkem sighed and said no more. In the days leading up to the festival, The village was filled with excitement. Women pounded yam, roasted corn, and fried plantain. Men decorated the square with palm fronds. Children practiced their dances. 3 judges were chosen: the village chief, the high priestess, and a mysterious elder who had just arrived from a distant village. No one knew much about the elder. They only knew she wore simple clothes, walked with a stick, and had wise, searching eyes. On the morning of the ceremony, the sun rose bright and golden. Achalugo, dressed in her finest wrapper, woven with red and gold threads. She adorned her hair with sparkling beads and shells. Her neck and wrists glittered with jewellery. As she stepped into the village square, people gasped, "Achalugo! See how she shines! She must be the one." The other young women stood nearby, wearing their best clothes too. Some were shy, some confident, but none drew as many eyes as Achalugo. The chief raised his staff, and the drummers grew quiet. "Today," he announced, "we will choose the woman who carries both beauty and virtue. The one we choose will represent our village and the neighbouring towns, and will be remembered for years to come." Achalugo smiled, already tasting victory. Then the mysterious elder stepped forward. Up close, Achalugo saw her wrinkled hands, her bent back, her tired feet. The elder's face was lined deeply, but her eyes were clear and sharp like stars. "In our land," the elder said, her voice steady, "we believe that true beauty shines brightest when life tests it. So these young women will not be judged by their faces alone, but by their hearts." The girls glanced at one another. Achalugo frowned slightly. What kind of test could they do? She wondered. "Everyone already knows I'm the most beautiful. Why complicate it?" The elder continued. "Each girl will face 3 simple tasks. We will watch not only what they do, but how they do it, and how they treat others." The first task was announced. Task 1, the basket of roots. The girls were led to a farm at the edge of the village. Each of them was given a heavy basket of yam and cassava roots to carry back to the square. The path was rough, with stones and roots twisting under their feet. Achalugo lifted her basket. It was heavier than she expected. Her arms ached almost immediately. "This is servant's work," she thought angrily. "Why should someone like me carry such a load?" As they walked, one of the other girls, Adaise, stumbled and fell. Her basket tipped over, and the yam and cassava rolled into the grass. "Ah!" Adaise cried, holding her ankle. "I think I twisted my foot." The other girls slowed down. One of them ran back to help. But Achalugo looked at Adaise, then at the judges watching from a distance. "If I help her," Achalugo thought, "my cloth may get dirty. I might arrive late and lose my chance to impress everyone. Let the others help her. I must protect my beauty." So Achalugo lifted her chin and walked ahead, her steps graceful despite the weight, ignoring Adaise's quiet sobs. When they reached the square, some people clapped for Achalugo. "See how straight she walks. She didn't even slow down." But the elder's eyes rested on her face with a question in them. Not praise. Task 2. The hungry stranger. For the next task, all the girls were asked to sit under the shade of a big tree. Before each of them, a covered clay bowl was placed. "You will open your bowl and eat what is inside," the elder said. But remember, what a person does when no one tells them the rules shows who they truly are. Confused, the girls lifted their lids. Each bowl contained a small portion of hot jollof rice and pieces of meat, smelling delicious. Achalugo's stomach rumbled. She had been so busy preparing her clothes. That morning she had barely eaten. Just then, a thin, dusty man appeared at the edge of the square. His clothes were torn, and his eyes looked tired. "Please," he said hoarsely, "I have not eaten for 2 days. Can anyone share a little food?" The girls glanced at one another. Some looked uncertain. One girl quickly pushed her bowl toward him. "Here, "Take mine," she said. Another divided her food, keeping half and offering half to the stranger. Achalugo's fingers tightened around her bowl. "He's dirty," she thought, "and this is my only food. If I give it away, I'll be hungry and weak. How can I stand proudly if I am faint? Besides, I did not cook it for him." The man came near her. "Daughter," he said gently, "may I have just a little?" Achalugo turned her face away. "I am preparing for an important ceremony," she said coldly. "I need my strength." The man nodded slowly and moved on. The elder's eyes followed him and then returned to Achalugo. When the man disappeared behind the houses, the elder raised her hand. "The second task is complete," she said. "We have seen enough." Achalugo licked her spoon slowly, feeling a small stone of discomfort in her chest, but she pushed it away. "I did nothing wrong," she told herself. "Anyone would keep their food." Task 3, the Night of the Lanterns. The last task came at night. The girls were told to gather near the chief's compound after sunset. The moon was hidden behind clouds, and the air smelled of wood smoke and night flowers. Each girl was given a small clay lantern with a weak flickering flame. "You will walk alone to the shrine at the edge of the forest," the elder instructed. "On the path, you may meet people in need. You must choose what to do with your light." The path was narrow and dark. Crickets sang. Somewhere far away an owl called. Achalugo held her lantern close, afraid the flame would go out. "I must protect this light," she thought. "What if the others steal it? What if I am left in darkness?" As she walked, she saw a small figure sitting by the path, a little girl crying softly. "Sister," the girl whispered, "my lantern went out. I am afraid of the dark. Please, can I walk with you, or can you share some of your light?" Achalugo's heart beat faster. "If I stop," she thought, "my own flame might die, and if she walks with me, people might not see me clearly. This is my test, not hers." So she said, "The path is straight. Just keep walking. You will be fine," and walked past, her steps quick and nervous. For a moment, Achalugo thought she heard the girl's voice change, older and deeper, saying, "Light that is kept only for oneself is already darkness." She stopped and turned, but the path behind her was empty. No girl, no sound, only the rustle of leaves. A shiver ran down her spine. At last Achalugo reached the shrine alone, her lantern still burning. When all the girls had arrived, some with others holding on to them, some with dim lanterns, some with none, the elder stood before them. "Tomorrow," she said, "we will reveal what we have seen. Go and sleep." Achalugo lay awake that night, staring at the roof of her hut. "I completed all the tasks," she told herself. "I carried my basket, I ate my food, I protected my lantern. Why do I feel so heavy inside?" Outside the wind blew softly, carrying the faint sound of a woman's voice. "Beauty is a gift, but it can become a curse when the heart is ugly." She frowned. "Why does that sentence keep following me?" she wondered. The next day the entire village gathered in the square. Drums beat slowly. The air felt thick, as if it were waiting for something important to happen. The 3 judges sat on a raised platform, the chief, the high priestess, and the mysterious elder. The young women stood in a line, dressed beautifully. Achalugo stood in the centre, tall and graceful, certain that this was the moment she would be crowned. The chief spoke first. "People of our village, you know Achalugo as the village beauty? Her face is known everywhere, but yesterday we did not test faces, we tested hearts." Murmurs ran through the crowd. Achalugo lifted her chin, trying to look calm. The high priestess stood. "In the first task," she said, "we saw those who chose to help a sister in pain, and those who chose to walk ahead alone." Adaize limped forward with a bandage on her ankle. She bowed her head. "Some girls dropped their own baskets to help her," the priestess continued, But there was one who walked past. All eyes turned to Achalugo. Her chest tightened. In the second task, the priestess went on, a hungry stranger asked for food. Many shared what little they had, but one kept her bowl to herself and turned away. Again, the crowd's attention focused on Achalugo. Whispers began. In the last task, the priestess said, a child in darkness asked to share a lantern. Some girls gave their light. Some walked holding one another, but one refused to share. The square grew silent. Achalugo felt as if the ground under her feet was slipping. The mysterious elder rose slowly, leaning on her stick. True beauty, she said, is not afraid to get its hands dirty to lift another. True beauty will share its last piece of food. True beauty will give away its light, trusting that the universe will give it back. She walked down from the platform and stood directly before Achalugo. Up close, her face looked familiar in a strange way. Achalugo, she said softly, do you recognize me? Achalugo swallowed. No, elder, I do not. The elder smiled sadly. I was the tired old woman you refused to place on the bench. I was the hungry man in the square. I was the little girl on the dark path. The crowd gasped. Achalugo's mouth fell open. Her heart pounded loudly in her ears. How? How is that possible? She whispered. In folk stories, the elder said, the spirits of the land sometimes wear different faces to test the hearts of humans. Your beauty shone on the outside, Achalugo, but when kindness knocked, you closed your door. The elder raised her stick and gently touched Achalugo's forehead. Let your eyes see what others see, she said. A sudden chill washed over Achalugo's body. She blinked as a strange heaviness fell on her skin, like wet cloth. The crowd's gasps grew louder. Her face, someone cried. Achalugo, what happened to your skin? Another shouted. Confused, Achalugo turned to the small metal mirror hanging near the chief's chair. She looked and screamed. Her smooth, glowing skin was gone. In its place were patches of roughness and dark marks, as if the beauty had been washed away, leaving all her pride written across her face. Her eyes looked tired, her cheeks hollow. No, she cried, dropping to her knees. What have you done to me? The elder's voice was calm. I did not do this to you. You did. This is the face of your heart, brought to the surface. Pride, selfishness, lack of compassion. This is what you carried inside. The world can now see what has always been there. Tears blurred Achalugo's vision. She remembered every moment, refusing the bench, keeping her food, guarding her lantern, walking past those in need. For the first time she felt not just fear, but deep shame. The chief spoke again. Achalugo, you were our village beauty, but true beauty cannot live in a heart that looks away from pain today. Another will be chosen to represent our village. He turned to a quiet girl in a simple wrapper, Chinello, who had given her entire bowl of food to the hungry stranger, and walked the forest path holding the little girl's hand. Chinello, he said, your face is gentle, but your heart is great. You will be our symbol of beauty and virtue. The crowd cheered, not because Chinello was the most beautiful to look at, but because they had seen her kindness. Achalugo covered her face with her hands. Her tears fell hot on the dusty ground. I was wrong, she whispered. I thought beauty was a shield that made me better than others. I thought it gave me the right to refuse help. I forgot how to be human. The elder bent down beside her. Child, she said, karma is not cruelty. It is a mirror. It does not hit you. It shows you. What you do to others, you do to yourself. What you refuse to share, you lose. Can I ever change? Achalugo asked through tears. The elder nodded. Yes, the heart can always change, if the person truly wishes to. Your face shows the truth now, but if your heart becomes gentle, generous and humble, your spirit will shine again, whether or not your skin returns to what it once was. From that day, Achalugo's life completely changed. She stopped spending hours before the mirror. Instead, she spent time helping old women carry their loads, fetching water for her neighbours, and sharing food with children who came to her door. At first, people watched her with suspicion. "Is she pretending?" they whispered. "Is this just to get her beauty back?" But Achalugo did not argue. She simply continued. When she saw someone tired, she offered her arm. When she saw someone hungry, she shared her plate. When she saw someone afraid, she lit a lantern and walked with them. One day, months later, she passed by the river where she had once admired her reflection. She knelt to fill her pot and saw herself in the water. The rough marks on her face had faded. Her skin was not exactly as before, but it was calm, clear, and peaceful. There was something new in her eyes, humility and warmth. For the first time, she did not think, "Who is more beautiful than me?" Instead, she thought, "May my heart never again be uglier than my face." The wind blew gently over the water, and Achalugo thought she heard the faint laughter of the elder, soft and approving. From then on, people still called her Achalugo, the village beauty, but their meaning had changed. They spoke not only of her face, but of her kindness. Mothers pointed her out to their children and said, "Look at her. She was once proud because of her looks, and life taught her a hard lesson. Now she is beautiful because she is kind." And when visitors came and asked, "Why do you respect her so much?" the villagers replied, "Because she proves that true beauty is not in the mirror, it is in the heart." Moral true beauty is not the face you show to the world, but the heart you show to people in need. A proud face will fade, but a kind heart grows more beautiful with every generous act. When you refuse to share light, you walk deeper into your own darkness, but when you share, your world becomes brighter too.